God damn!
Hey, what's up guys, this is 9Lives coming at you with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a Q&A, so I'm going to put some questions that you guys asked me on the screen. You left them in the comments of my previous video and you tweeted them at me on Twitter using the hashtag Ask9Lives. Before I get into it, I just want to mention that the gameplay you're watching here is me battling it out in the snipers only game mode. I wish it was in the game all the time. I hope that it's going to be in the game all the time in Call of Duty World War II, and I think there's a chance that it will be because we did have a similar game mode back in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare called One Shot. The developers of Advanced Warfare, which was the first time we ever saw a snipers only game mode in Call of Duty, are the same people who are developing Call of Duty World War II. So I think there's a chance that we'll see it again. I think it'd be awesome. If there is any game that should have a snipers only playlist, it's easily Call of Duty. The amount of people who want to snipe in Call of Duty is just insane. Like, I feel like Call of Duty really popularized quickscoping, and it's just crazy to me that we never see a snipers only playlist in Call of Duty, except in you know, Advanced Warfare, which was way too late into the series to introduce it for the first time. And then I guess now we kind of have it rotating in and out of Modern Warfare Remastered as part of the Weekend Warfare playlist, which is kind of weird. But anyways, let's get into the questions. The first question comes from Caleb, or Old NQ on Twitter, and he says, thoughts on COD World War II? I'm excited but not getting my hopes up. Been a long time since we had a good boots on the ground COD. So I agree, it has been a long time since we had a good boots on the ground COD. I think it's something like 5 years now since Black Ops 2 came out, which is way too long because it's a completely different style of game that we've been getting the last 3 years with the advanced movement and everything like that. Also, Call of Duty Ghosts, this is from the perspective of a sniper, because all I really do on my channel is post sniper gameplay and whatnot. And same with Caleb, he's a former Optic Nation sniper, so he has a bunch of montages under the name Optic NQ on the Optic Nation channel if you want to check them out on Black Ops 2. So the thing is with Call of Duty Ghosts is they just continuously nerfed snipers over and over again. I think 3 or 4 times. It was like the whole sniping montage making thing was really under fire during that time. So from a sniper's perspective, it actually has literally been since Black Ops 2 since we had a good boots on the ground COD. At least that's my perception of kind of what happened, and I don't know if Caleb feels similar here. But anyways, so I think Call of Duty actually has a chance to start turning things around this year, and there's a few reasons why I think that. So if you guys didn't know, Call of Duty has been declining in sales since basically 2011 when Modern Warfare 3 came out. That was the most popular Call of Duty ever, and since then it's never done as well. I'm going to put a graph on the screen now though of the YouTube search volume for the Call of Duty games that have come out over the past few years. The blue line on the graph is actually Call of Duty World War II. And what's awesome about that is Call of Duty World War II is not even out yet, and it's already surpassed the peak of the YouTube search volume for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which is the yellow line before that, which is kind of pathetically small. The green line is for Black Ops 3, and the blue line is almost higher than the peak of the green line. And the peak of the green line was from when Call of Duty Black Ops 3 came out. The peak of the blue line is just when they announced Call of Duty World War II. So they're already starting to reverse the effects that some of these jetpack and advanced movement games have had on the franchise, turning a lot of people away from it. And I think this is crucial to end up with a game that's actually enjoyable to play, because if the series keeps on declining in sales and people are losing interest, then Activision will continue to drive the series into the ground with overbearing microtransactions in the form of supply drops with overpowered weapons in them that clearly are not good for the community and are decreasing the player base and making people leave for other games. If the community is actually growing and more people are becoming interested again and we're getting some old veterans of the series back, I think Activision might actually start to chill out with the super aggressive microtransactions. The other thing about that is it kind of depends on what some of the other game publishers are doing. So the more successful things like Titanfall and Battlefield are, the more Activision will have to be more pro-consumer and focus on the growth of the Call of Duty series. If you want to look at a game kind of that has the publishers in a growth mindset, look at Titanfall 2. The way that they've been doing their microtransactions is very pro-consumer. You just buy the skins that you want, and there's no overpowered weapons that you buy through like the crate system, and it's because they're trying to grow their player base, right? And that's kind of the opposite of what you see with something like Call of Duty nowadays. Anyways, another reason I think World War II has a potential to turn things around for Call of Duty is because it seems like they're going to start taking competitive Call of Duty a little bit more seriously and actually implement a proper ranking system within the game where you can kind of climb up a ladder and hone your skills in a competitive playlist that's easy to get into, kind of similar to what we see in the most popular first-person shooters in the world like Counter-Strike and Overwatch and games like that have kind of surpassed Call of Duty in popularity. It's because of the ranking system and because of the competitive play. The most popular first-person shooters in the world right now do an excellent job at delivering that excitement that the players are looking for with their ranked system. Counter-Strike Global Offensive is one of the most exciting games you can play when you're the last alive and your team is depending on you and spectating you to try and take out the remaining 2 players on the enemy team. Overwatch does a similar thing because of how objective-based it is. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds does something very similar, but it's in a different style where it's closing down the active area of the map, and as you're becoming one of the last alive, it gets really exciting, and it's all about that adrenaline for a lot of the players. And I think that's something that Call of Duty's been lacking for a very long time, that they need to get right with the competitive playlist or the ranked playlist in World War II. If you guys didn't see it, yesterday Michael Condrey, one of the lead developers of Call of Duty World War II, tweeted out this image of one of the main menus in the game where you can see that the ranked match button on the menu is right front and center, and I think that is very crucial to the game's success now in 2017. The landscape's kind of changed a lot in the last few years. Moving on to the next question, Duck1239 asked me, what is your favorite thing to do besides playing video games? So lately my favorite thing to do has probably been riding my new sport bike. I got kind of like an entry-level sport bike a few weeks ago for my first season ever, and the season here where I live in Canada is fairly short. You can't really ride all year round because it does snow in the winter and it does rain quite a lot. But so for next season, I want to get a little bit of a bigger bike. I'm starting on a 300cc and I'd like to move up to 600 for next season. It's a lot of fun, really enjoy being on 2 wheels. I would say my interest in motorcycles probably started because of my interest in driving cars, and that kind of meshed well with my interest in downhill mountain biking. I feel that the sport bike kind of fits well somewhere between the two. Some of my other favorite things to do include flying FPV racing drones, more of the freestyle stuff rather than the actual racing, and I also quite enjoy riding a fixed gear bicycle. Next question is from Mosquito, and he says, do you play with claw grip? So the answer is no. I can't stand playing with claw grip. It hurts my hand. I think my hand's maybe a little bit too big for it or something. It makes my hand cramp up. I think the reason he's asking is because in my previous video called Sniper Secrets, I was showing you guys how to reload cancel with the S-Tac Aggressor and how quickly you could do it, and I said that I don't use a controller with any extra buttons, so I don't use a scuff controller or anything like that. So perhaps that's why he thinks maybe I play with claw grip, but actually no, I don't. I just use my thumb. So when I'm doing the reload cancel, I'm always using my thumb. If you can play with the claw grip, I'm sure it would be a little bit more effective. I just don't personally do it. For anybody who's not familiar, a claw grip is when you make kind of a claw shape with your right hand on the controller so that your index finger is responsible for, I think, clicking 4 buttons. So like the square, triangle, circle, and the X button, or on Xbox that would be the X, Y, B, and A button. So all that's being controlled by the index finger, I believe. And yeah, I just can't handle it. I just play regularly. AKA Norwell on Twitter says, what's your favorite COD and your favorite map in that COD? So my favorite COD of all time by far is Call of Duty World at War. It's the game that I enjoy playing the most. It's the setting that I like the most, World War II. I have a strong preference for World War II over any other setting, even Modern Warfare, especially Future Warfare. So definitely Call of Duty World at War, which came out in 2008, I believe, so it's about 9 years ago. My favorite map was Downfall, so it was one of the largest maps in the game. Really, really good for sniping, long lines of sight, and the architecture and the art design on that map was just really sick. But of course, the main reason I like it is because it plays really well. So moving on to the next one, Night Stalker says, do more of your time traveling and how are you so good at sniping? So by time traveling, he's referring to a series that I did about 3 years ago where I played every Call of Duty ever made, going all the way back to Call of Duty 1, and I got a sniper gameplay on each of them, playing the free-for-all game mode. It was a lot of fun. I actually do want to do it again. Ideally, I'll do it again before Call of Duty World War II comes out. Let me know with a comment down below if you think this is a good idea and I should go ahead with it. So it's basically starting on, I guess in this case, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I'll go back and play Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, Ghosts, all the Call of Duties, all the way until we're back to Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 1. And in each of these videos, I'd kind of talk about my thoughts on the game, what I think was good about the game, what I think was not so good about the game, And yeah, you also get to kind of see what every Call of Duty ever made looks like. So if you're kind of new to the series or you haven't played every game, it's kind of interesting in that way as well. And so the second part of his question was, how am I so good at sniping? Well, I've been doing it for like probably around 10 years, like just primarily sniping when I play Call of Duty or any first-person shooter. So it kind of started to become natural at a certain point just because it's all I would really do. And also a lot of my game time has been for the purposes of recording montages and teamtages for a big sniper team that I was a part of called the Darth Empire. When you're in a sniper team, the friendly competition between you and your friends and your other teammates, as well as the other teams out there like FaZe and Optic and Envy and stuff like that and SOAR, it really pushes you to try and get the best clips you can and snipe as best as you can, all this type of stuff. So I think that friendly competition really helps any player to develop their skill if they're trying to become better at sniping. I believe I originally joined them in 2011, and I was recruited by my friend who's now known as Daniel Cross on YouTube. At the time when I met him, he was Darth Cross, and then he later went on to join FaZe. We were both independent for a while, and then we had some short-lived thing with Denial Esports, and now we're both in SOAR. But at the end of the day, I think the main theme here is if you surround yourself with other people who are trying to get better at COD or trying to do YouTube or whatever it is that you're trying to do, basically just surround yourself with like-minded people. If you're trying to get better at Call of Duty and sniping, then you know who you need to surround yourself with and you're good to go. Moving on to the next question. This is Aaron or Aaron, and he says, will you upload more when World War II comes out? So the answer is yes. Honestly, I can't stand the jetpacks in Call of Duty anymore. Like, I honestly thought Advanced Warfare was pretty cool. I didn't play a whole lot of Black Ops 3 at all. I have less than a day played in Infinite Warfare. But if I do go ahead with the Time Traveler thing, I will be playing each of those Call of Duties and uploading a video on each of them. But at the end of the day, honestly, I haven't been super engaged with the Call of Duty games lately. Modern Warfare Remastered is okay, but obviously it's very similar to Call of Duty 4, which I've played a ton of already. Will you upload more when World War II comes out? Definitely, because as I was telling you guys earlier, World War II is literally my favorite setting for a first-person shooter to be in. I love the guns. My favorite sniper rifle of all time is the Springfield, which is going to be in World War II. I like the war game mode, and apparently they're bringing back something similar to the war game mode. I think it sounds like it's going to be a little bit different, but I'm really excited to see what that is. And even if it's just going to be me playing domination, I'm fine with that as well. Also, if the ranked/competitive side of Call of Duty World War II is any good, I could see myself getting really into that. I got pretty into competitive Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I got all the way to the highest rank that you can get in the competitive matchmaking system, which is Global Elite. And if they actually do a good job with World War II, I could see myself pursuing some of the highest ranks in that. It just depends how well they execute. The next question here is from Aiden on Twitter, and he says, what has been your favorite event so far? Also, glad to see you coming back. Miss you, brother. Thank you, Aiden. And by the way, this is the guy who made my 9 Lives logo, and I love it. I just asked him for a simple logo to kind of depict the idea of 9 lives. I think he killed it. I think it's memorable. You know, every time you see my new video in the subscription feed every few months, hopefully you guys don't forget it, and I think that's exactly what we're going for. So shout out to Aiden for being awesome and making me a really cool logo. I actually met him at PAX East in Boston, I think like in 2015, I believe, or 2015 or 2016, I think. Honestly, that might have been my favorite event I've been to. I haven't been to any of the competitive Call of Duty events like the MLG events or anything like that. I would like to start going to them. We'll see. I know SOAR, the gaming organization that I'm a part of, goes to basically all the events, so I think it'd be cool at least to go to see a bunch of the SOAR guys. I'll probably go to PAX West in Seattle at the end of August. I usually do. I haven't really planned it out yet this year, but I think I probably will end up going. The next question comes from Cole Stark, and he says, who's the best COD sniper in your opinion? So to be completely honest, I don't think I watch enough sniper montages and gameplays and stuff to give you an accurate assessment of who I think is the best, but SOAR Fear is pretty insane. I've been watching a lot of his stuff over the last few months. Recently, he actually won Pamage's montage challenge. He's just so consistent, it's crazy, and his shot is so nice. If you want to see some of his stuff, check out his introducing on the SOAR Gaming channel, or check out his first place winner entry for the Dr. Montage challenge on Pamage's channel. Next question question is from Fresh, and he says, where did you get the name 9 Lives from, and when will you do face cams? So the name 9 Lives was created because I wanted to get away from the term legit meow. My channel name, actually, like the URL, the link to my channel, is youtube.com/legitmeow, and I think it sounds really corny. I picked that, I think, at the end of middle school or the beginning of high school or something. I actually didn't even pick it just myself. I handed my friend a list of stupid names that I came up with for a channel, and he picked legit meow out of that list. It was probably the stupidest name on the list, to be honest, but I really didn't care at the time at all. Later on, though, I realized that I was just not at all happy with the name that we landed on, so I wanted to try and branch away from it. And when I joined a sniper team for the first time, the Darth Empire, back in like 2011, my gamer tag was Darth9. So 9 was because of the 9 lives of a cat, branching out of the theme of legit meow, and something that was a little bit cooler, the number 9. So later on, after I got tired of kind of just branding my entire channel as being Darth9, I switched it to 9 Lives, so that it was like fully into the whole 9 Lives of a cat thing, and yeah, then I've just ran with it since then. Now, as for the face cam part, I think I might do a little bit of that when the Call of Duty World War II beta comes out. I was thinking of doing some live streams maybe on the World War II beta and having the face cam on there. I have the setup for it, like I have the lighting, I have the camera, I have everything like that, so yeah, it's just a matter of doing it. I think there's probably not a better time than the World War II beta. So the next question is from Glacier X, and he says, when you left YouTube, you completely skipped Black Ops 3. Do you play it, and what is your opinion on it? Do you think it's good? So for anybody who's not aware, I think there was like about a 2-year period, or maybe a little bit more, where I didn't upload any videos to YouTube. And that was during the time that Black Ops 3 was out, so that's kind of a coincidence. It's not like I have anything major against Black Ops 3, but I honestly have barely played it at all. I probably have less than 1 day played on the game. Same with Infinite Warfare, I just haven't really been playing them. Part of it is that I'm just not as interested in the Call of Duty games with jetpacks. Like, I honestly legitimately thought that Advanced Warfare was pretty cool when it came out. Now, like, since coming back we have Modern Warfare Remastered, I would just much rather play Modern Warfare Remastered than a game with the jetpacks. So yeah, I don't have anything against it, I just haven't really played it. But if I do go ahead with the Time Traveler series, where I go back and play every previous Call of Duty game before World War II comes out, then I'll be able to give you a more fleshed out opinion on my actual thoughts on Black Ops 3, because at this time I just haven't really played it. The next one here is from Timothy, and he says, when I play COD, I sometimes get inconsistencies with my gameplay. Most of the time I will hit every shot and dominate the game, but then there's times when I could play and empty a whole mag without getting a single kill, to then end up being one of the lowest scoring players on my team. I know that all players, no matter how good they are, have ups and downs like this when they play. I just wanted to know how you deal when you face moments of discontent with the game. So if I'm playing inconsistently, what I'll notice is usually I'm playing too aggressively or too passively. So if you're playing too aggressively and you find like you can't just stop ripping around the map and trying to run and gun like crazy, but you're getting shut down, is I would recommend playing a different game mode for a bit, just like 1 or 2 matches. You could even play like Prop Hunt or like a Search and Destroy match or a free-for-all or something like that. And then when you return to the game mode that you're previously playing, you'll have a different pace. You won't be running and gunning quite as aggressively, and that'll help you to kind of just reset and take it from square one again. The other side of that is if you're playing too passively, like you're moving around too slowly or you're hesitating on your shots or something like that, like your shot's just too slow and you know that you should be able to kill them faster, well then I think it's a case of you need to go to a private match, set up some recruit level bots, and start mowing them down as quickly as you can. See how quickly you can kill those bots, set up like 10 of them or something and just run through them. And after about 5 or 10 minutes of that, return to your regular match and you should be good to go. But it's really a balancing act, right? You don't want to be too aggressive because that's going to get you unnecessary deaths and you're going to be putting yourself into dangerous situations where you're more likely to die. And if you're playing too passively, then you're going to be losing gunfights that you shouldn't be losing because you're letting the enemy get the jump on you, or you're taking too long on your shots and that type of thing. Anyways, that's my experience with it, and that's what I try and focus on. The next one here is from Will Curtis, and he says, what did you do as a kid before YouTube? So I played a lot of hockey and lacrosse. I also did some dirt jump mountain biking, and then that dirt jumping kind of led into downhill mountain biking, and now I don't do any of those things, and I've kind of moved on into different hobbies, I guess. It's Phantom07 says, what's your favorite video game aside from Call of Duty? I would have to say Counter-Strike Global Offensive is my favorite video game aside from Call of Duty. However, I do enjoy old school RuneScape actually. It was probably the first game that I really got into and sunk a lot of hours into as a kid. I started playing it in grade 4. I vividly remember some of those first days playing the game. Everybody I knew seemed to be playing it, and I played it on and off for a few years, and then I think in 2013 they re-released this really old version of the game because they'd been doing weekly updates that completely transformed it. So they brought back a version of the game from 2007, and when that came out, I know a lot of COD players, or a lot of my friends from COD or whatever, like from the sniper community or like YouTubers and stuff, started playing it a bit. It's just really cool seeing so many people come back to like an old kind of crappy game for nostalgia, and really, like, if you wanted to get into it now and you've never played before, like, you'd absolutely hate it. But anybody who played it back in the day, it's just kind of cool to play such an old game that you grew up with, right? If you've ever played it before, leave a comment down below and let me know. I'd be interested to see how many of you guys are familiar with the game. The next question here is from Sage, and he says, how much COD have you been playing recently? So honestly, the amount of COD that I've been playing is kind of reflective in the amount of videos that I upload. Unfortunately, I have about 4 days and 16 hours played on Modern Warfare Remastered. I actually just went and checked that for you. So not a whole lot. I haven't really played Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I just have 12 minutes played on that game. However, I do think that Call of Duty World War II truly has the potential to get not only just me, but a lot of the rest of the community who used to play tons and tons of Call of Duty back into the game again. Last question here is from Vortex Adams, and then we'll wrap it up. So he says, why did you stop posting again? I remember you made a video explaining why, and then you uploaded a bit, then just stopped again. Was it because you were still dealing with your problem, or was there no more motivation to upload again, but still happy you're back? So as far as dealing with the problem as outlined in the I'm Back video that I uploaded when Modern Warfare Remastered first came out, that video was a little bit preemptive. And I should have probably waited longer to create a video like that, but the thing is, I wanted to time it with the release of Modern Warfare Remastered because it made it way easier to get the ball rolling again after being absent from YouTube for about 2 years. It seemed like it was going to be all good at the time, however, clearly I should have waited a little bit longer. The next part of that question was about motivation, and I really think that comes down to one thing really. So with my videos, I always strive for them to be something that I would personally watch and that I would even recommend that you watch. However, if I'm not enjoying a game, it makes it basically impossible for me to produce a video that I would personally watch, which creates this catch-22 because you guys are asking for content, and even if I wouldn't personally watch it, you guys would still enjoy it. So I guess I need to get over that. Now, the fact that Call of Duty World War II seems to be essentially exactly what I'm looking for in Call of Duty. Boots on the ground, World War II, my favorite sniper rifle's in there, the Springfield. It even has a war game mode, which it sounds like is going to be a little bit different, but still, I think that it's going to be a lot easier to get into that schedule of regularly uploading videos with a game that I'm actually enjoying a lot more, like World War II, or at least that's how I predict it to be when it's available. At the end of the day though, I still need to figure out a way to make my interest in making YouTube videos completely independent of my interest in the game itself, because even if I end up really loving Call of Duty World War II, which actually I expect to be the case, I don't want to be subject to the volatility of my interest in the game in terms of making videos for you guys. So I think the answer to this may be either playing with a group a little bit more so that there's more of a social aspect in my enjoyment of the game rather than focusing entirely on the game itself. So maybe playing with the team and trying to do something like, for example, even the competitive, like if I put a team together for the competitive mode in that or something like that. I think another thing that would help is just a wider variety of games. I really haven't posted much else other than Call of Duty on this channel, but I do play a little bit of CSGO. I've posted actually a little bit of Counter-Strike on my second channel called Game Time. Just like highlights and clips and stuff, nothing too serious. I've posted some Battlefield 4 stuff on actually this channel before, on the 9 Lives channel, and I might do maybe like some Battlefield 1 stuff. I don't know, but if you guys have any suggestions on like what type of content you might want to see in the meantime, like as we're waiting for Call of Duty World War II to come out, Be sure to leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions. Also, any thoughts or responses to any of the other topics that we covered today throughout this Q&A. Feel free to leave your comments down below. I'll be reading as many as I can, and I'll try to reply to as many of your comments as well. If you're still watching at this point in the video, I'd highly appreciate it if you could take 2 seconds and hit that like button for me. It really does go a long way, and I greatly appreciate it. I'll put some videos on the screen now that you can click to check out if you're interested to watch some more stuff. I'll put that 100 kill gameplay with the S-Tac Aggressor, as well as my Sniper Secrets video. A couple other things on there as well if you want to check them out. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon with a new video. Peace.